Hi, I'm Jill, editor of Reader's Digest, and one of the things I love most about this magazine is that it's full of really interesting, useful stuff. For example, what your pilot won't tell you, what your planning officer won't tell you, what your weather forecaster won't tell you, all these very interesting things, what your energy supplier won't tell you, and who writes all this fantastic stuff? It's Linda Gray. Linda, you must be the most knowledgeable person on the planet, full of useful tips.
Sadly, no. It's a bit like doing exams. You know, you mug it up like crazy and then a week later it's all gone. But there are quite a few things that stick in my mind, having done this for 3 years
Yes, you've
now.
done it for a while now, and very well too, I have to say. What's your favourites?
I do like the pilot, and I've also done the flight attendant, so they merge a bit. And one of the tips that I remember, which is very useful from that one, is, I mean, most people know not to sit in the back of the plane. It's more turbulent, you get worse air quality.
You're near the loos as well.
Not good. Yes, no, not good at all. And they head for the emergency exits. The big problem there is they're cold. They really can be quite cold. And you also lose space because you've got the table and the monitor for your film in the side. Yeah. So you're effectively having a narrower seat. Go for the one behind if you have any choice at all.
Oh right, yes, okay.
And sadly, the air quality isn't getting any better because the pilot is often instructed not to turn the aircon on until they actually get underway. Exactly. But the one that sort of sticks in my mind, simply because I was so ignorant about it, is Broadband supplier. I
think we're all ignorant about that one. It turns my brain to mush.
Well, absolutely. I sort of felt that the internet just came out of the ether, a bit like the Victorians thought about electricity, you know, it was just
seeps through the walls
and you just
somehow.
Sort of hooked into it somehow. And then I discovered that actually it comes along, for most people, it comes along the same phone lines that the birds sit on. And I thought, well, no wonder the speed's such rubbish. If you want really fast broadband, you have to have the cable, which is Virgin or BT Infinity. Okay. Also, if you're ever thinking of moving and it's important to you, look for the green box in the street. Now, I've never taken any notice of street furniture, but it actually means that you'll get better broadband speed because that's what all the lines converge.
It's that kind of rectangular, rather dull green thing,
is
it? I've always wondered what that's for. You kind of know it's there, but one day I'll find out why. Now we know.
Yeah, and or don't live more than 4 miles from a telephone exchange because your speed will drop. Which really means if you move to the country, you know, you have to watch out because they actually have not spots there where you don't get reception at all, and if you don't get mobile either, then you really are.
You've got a problem. You're almost excluded from modern society, aren't you? Goodness me.
Yes. But I think Ofcom is now looking at speeds. At one time, the providers used to promise speeds of up to 20, 30, 40, and they simply weren't delivering. I mean, at one stage, I think one provider was found to be providing about 1/3 of the speed.
Yes, because they make claims for being how many megabytes per second, and actually in reality it can be half of that.
Yes,
I didn't know that at all.
Indeed. So there's quite a lot, and there's all sorts of issues with throttling in, when everybody goes online in the evening, so it's worth avoiding those times.
So what have you got coming up?
Well, at the moment I'm working on one which is what your wine merchant won't tell you.
Oh, that'll be good for Christmas.
Yes, it's brilliant. And the energy one, for anyone who hasn't got the issue, has got some interesting points, which is that economy 7 doesn't mean after 7 you get cheap electricity. It means you get 7 hours, quite often when you're asleep. And you can be paying double the usual charge for electricity outside that time. And the other thing that I was interested in, there was that 40% of people who swap, as we're told to swap to get a better tariff, actually end up paying more. And then for the November issue, it's your online retailer, and this is with Christmas in mind.
That's incredibly useful, yes.
Yeah, and again, one of the many tips that I picked up was that if you have more rights when you buy online, and you have also very good rights of return. Some rights you do have to have, which people don't know, and the retailers will resist sometimes, the online retailers, is you do not have to return things in a saleable condition. That is their lookout. As long as you've taken care of it, if you have to take it apart to have a look at it, if you have to assemble it to see that it works, you still have your right to return within 7 days.
Because quite often they say though, but return the original wrapper, unused.
No, they can't say that.
And they can't say that.
There are very few exceptions, and one of the odd exceptions is tights, because they say if you put on something like that, you've distorted it, so it it is effectively changed. But a lot of other things, including jewellery, you can return. So.
Well, that's worth knowing. It's very timely for Christmas. Linda, thank you very much for coming in. Keep up the good work. I'm going to be such an informed consumer by the time you finish this, but we never want you to finish it. So thanks for coming in.